Hey guys, today I will tell you a little story about how I went from being really socially awkward to really being to having social anxiety, like really social anxiety. I would freak out when I would meet new people and everything like that, to basically where I'm now, where I'm okay with people. So, how it happened was this. I basically realized that not everybody was so weird like me. So that was my first step. It's like when you can step from thinking the world is terrible to the world is terrible for me, then you start thinking, wait a second, so it means the world is not terrible as the world in general, it's like my world is terrible. It means there is something wrong with me. And if I feel so stressed and nervous about social situations, then maybe the problem is in me. And if the problem is in me, then maybe I should change it. But as we all know, the way you behave is kind of hardwired in many cases. In many cases, it's kind of hardwired, but also there is a lot of training gone into that. So by training, I mean you trained yourself to be socially awkward. And so that's what happened to me. Like my grandmother, I remember, since I was about 5 years old, kids do weird stuff, but it's okay. And then you just tell them to just stop doing that and just don't do the normal stuff. But what she used to tell me many times over was, what will other people think about you? And at first I was like, I don't care. I don't care what they will think. Like, it's their problem. Whatever they think, it's what they think. So that is the healthy attitude, I think. However, she was telling me this so many times over such a long period of time that eventually I started thinking about it like this, that first, probably if she's complaining so much, maybe I'm not normal, or I'm worse than average. So that was point number one. And point number two, you have to always think about what people say. So as you can guess, that was the recipe for disaster. Since maybe 5 years old to 15 years old, 10 years was spent training myself to be socially awkward. And then when I was about 15, I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't want to be that. Like, my life is not good, and I can't choose my life. I can change my life because I don't like this world in which I'm living. So like, my world was not good, so I wanted to change it. But how do you change 10 years of daily practice? It's very hard. So what I did, I could think about it like from a bit different perspective. I thought, okay, the way I behave must be connected to the way I feel. So if I can't change how I feel, why don't I change the way I behave? And one of the first ways that you behave, one of the first ways of behavior that you can change, the really simple one, was for me, change my clothes. Basically change the way I dress. And I used to dress in all black because, like, I don't know why, but people who are socially awkward, they kind of prefer dark colors. And so what I did, I started making my dress code lighter and lighter and lighter. So at first it was gray, and then later it became like bright yellow or orange. And that by itself kind of changed the way I was feeling, how I was thinking. So the way you dress will influence the way you feel. Not only vice versa. It's not only like you feel and then you dress, but you dress and then you feel. That was one point. And the second point was my posture and my breathing. So anytime I would feel kind of insecure and uncomfortable in social situations, I realized that I would naturally like kind of change my posture. I would like bend a bit and I would lower my head. And so what I did, I was consciously doing, raising my head up. So why? I don't know. Like, I think there is something physiological about that. Like, you neck is a very kind of sensitive area for most of mammals, and so by protecting your neck, you express your anxiety by protecting your neck, basically. I think you've seen like boxers when they fight, they do this. Sorry about the mic. They do this. They protect their neck and their chin, and this is what socially anxious people do as well. They do this. And what I would do, I would consciously raise my chin up, exposing my neck. Of course, there is like no danger coming from people in a bus or something like that. So I would do it consciously, and again, this sends the signal back to your, I don't know, subconscious, to your mammal brain or whatever. And it says that, oh, if you can do this, it means it's safe. And so basically, I created this kind of reverse feedback. And same with breathing. Like, when you're in stress, you can't breathe deeply, because to breathe deeply, you have to relax. And deep breath relaxes you. And so if you're anxious, you don't breathe deeply. And then, so the reverse of that, if you breathe deeply, you become more relaxed. And so this is what I would do, is like, if I have a stressful situation, I would just breathe really, really deep a couple of times, and I would feel more relaxed. And basically, over time, it took not 1 year. It took, I don't know, 2 or 3 or more years to undo the damage that was done before. I could, well, basically become more confident, less anxious. And of course, when you're more confident and less anxious, your experiences change as well. And your experiences, your positive experiences, then will later reinforce and help you more and more and more on your way to becoming more confident person. So that's my advice for you. Change the way you behave, and then it will change the way you feel. And that's it for today. And I thank you for watching. I hope you watched all the way. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.